away game against a character with as amazing of a punish game as Ryu has for sure. You know, just getting in close on that character is like, look at his biceps. Look at, they're bigger than his head. They are literally bigger than Young Link's head. And Ryu's as well. You know, it's exemplified in how the character actually plays. So, you know, getting in close on him is not something you're going to always want to do. I mean, he does have a sword. At the end of the day, you know, it's not like a Fire Emblem disjoint. It's more like a Zelda one, in case you catch my drift. We are here on Battlefield. Not too surprised to go to a stage like this. And I got to ask you, why do you think they decided to go here?
First of all, biceps are not necessarily the most functional muscle on the body. You're more worried about core strength. Secondly, I don't know necessarily why Battlefield if you're a MonopolyMan, because I would think that you would want to get Young Link the hell away from platforms as much as humanly possible, because that sword can definitely reach up there, and you are not going to be safe from anything even resembling that up smash, and you're in very real danger of dying. But what I'm guessing... Well, I mean, and you're seeing what's happening right now. Strawhat is taking advantage of every single drop through that he possibly can. And since he has a sword that stays out for approximately 7 years, it's he's going to have more than enough time to let MonopolyMan either jump into a potential offensive option and get caught with the sword because he's not respecting it, or just going to deploy it whenever he wants and have it hit whenever he wants. It's easy enough. But I would say, just in theory, maybe the thing is that he knows that he cannot face the projectile game head on. Yes, he has the Hadouken, but, you know, that's not a match for the bombs and the arrows and the boomerangs that Young Link has. So you have some room to move around. You can utilize those platforms just a little bit more, and you make Strawhat jump to you. That's kind of my thinking, but I know it doesn't play out like that.
It's going to depend.
It's kind of a manifest, manifest, not contradiction, but this manifest fallacy, I suppose.
Manifest destiny?
Not quite. That's...
give you all a history lesson real quick on that one. But I totally get what you're saying, how he's going to force him to... we need to expand to FD. We need to expand Battlefield to FD. Is that Nairtex the stock? It's gonna be interesting because I mean, right now, I mean, you're talking about, you know, in terms of jump-ins. I can totally get what you're trying to say in terms of MonopolyMan having any chance at negating the projectile onslaught that is the top 10 threat in Strawhat's Young Link out here for your viewing pleasure on Platinum Star Online 2. But at the same time, it's like, what reason would he ever have for that when he is the player who is in the lead, and therefore, by, you know, the laws of fighting games and the laws of Smash, he is the one who, for the most part, never really has to approach. But I love what he's going through here to actually show us that. He's getting in at just such a distance against Strawhat. It's not necessarily micro-spacing, but because of the auto turnaround of Ryu, he knows that he's going to have frame advantage once he gets at a certain distance against Young Link, where he'll start to be able to spam down tilt. And as we all know, Ryu's down tilt is one of his main combo starters. He'll be able to get a lot of damage off it, like you get with that Tatsumaki right there. I feel like that's going to be like his big way of like trying to get anything done against a character like Young Link and against a Young Link as good as Strawhat. It's going to be in that sort of micro-spacing game, Stu. When he gets close enough to the point where he knows he can like sort of semi-safely start poking with down tilt. Because otherwise, you're right. He's going to get at this distance. He's going to start using Hadouken. And yeah, he like, you know, best case, he'll be able to get some good damage off that. But it's nothing compared to the zoning of Young Link for sure. And now it's definitely nothing composed to it because he's at about 165% differential, my friends. And that is because Strawhat is at 0. So if MonopolyMan takes this game, which he very well might, I would be very, very impressed. But Strawhat right here trying to negate it, just throwing that boomerang, which would cleanly confirm into a fair if he is able to do it close enough. But here we go. The percent is tacking on. It ain't Smash 4, but we do got a max rage Ryu out here. Just a little bit more percent against a character as light as Young Link, and I don't know. We might be seeing some silly stuff, and I don't know about you. I think that silly stuff is definitely starting to ring through MonopolyMan's head right here if you're at this high of a deficit with a character like Ryu. Yeah,
Ryu just simply is not able to get in and with those down tilts, and yeah, that's kind of how he got most of his mileage out of from most of this tournament. Now, if you are losing a Strawhat, no real shame in that. Eventually, you are going to get forward thrown from mid-stage because you just run out of room at that point. You don't have any luxuries afforded to you at that juncture. You are going to be kicked in the groin into space, and there's not a whole lot that you can do about it. So as Monopoly Man has to nurse that particular bruise. Yeah, take that, rewind it back. Eventually, yeah, you get hit. You have to land. Like, you just have to. Or else you're going to be met on the platform with a sword to the ankles, and you're going to die that way. So you have to take your chances, and Straw Hat was there with the grab right away. Well done by him, and really it just comes down to eliminating every single option so that only one choice could even possibly work for Ryu. And Straw Hat is there. He's very calculating, very smart individual, has a couple of degrees under his belt, and he's not doing all that badly for himself in this tournament. Spot in losers semifinals could very well be in the cards for him. And opposite of them, keep in mind, is Mile and Mouse Rat. So there's only one way to truly know that. And we will, of course, keep you updated on the happenings of the bracket as they go along. But right now, it seems that Monopoly Man and Straw Hat are destined to do this for a little while as we get into game number 2. A quick little start there by Monopoly Man. So he gets things started up, trying to establish the offense early, and also establishing that he is not afraid to use that focus attack, as you have to as a defensive measure. Oh my gosh, did he just clip Straw Hat?
I think he very well might have, using his strength, which, my friend, I think is the only card Ryu needs. Out here, proving it with that beautiful conversion into the back air, man. My God. You know, I mean...
He has 5 cards in his hand, and all of them are games. That's it.
that's a definite not fallacy, my friend. Definitely a true statement if I ever did hear one. That was rough. I mean, we keep talking about, Straw Hat, how amazing of a player he is, and he is. We keep talking about Young Link, how good of a character he is, and he is. He ain't without a semblance of flaws. He is a relatively light character, dying very strongly to that back air by the ledge at really was a relative moderate kill percent, but I mean, either way, probably would have killed a little earlier as well. But my God, already lapping him in percent on this second stock already. I mean, immediately tacking back to Straw Hat, but still, this ain't even a tit for tat game so far. Only about a minute through this right now, and just, my God, Monopoly Man just throwing out all those stacks right now, man. Still hanging on to his first stock against Straw Hat right here, and I love what he's doing. He's like trying to break his zoning, right? Getting close enough to him. This is what he's doing, Stu. He's getting close enough to him where that zoning game is not gonna matter. It's like so many other players would be like, I'm in the lead, I'll run away now, whatever. But he knows that by running away, he's putting Young Link at just pretty much the best spacing he possibly could, which is further away, allowing him to tack on damage with his projectiles, and for Young Link, able to confirm arrows into kills. He knows that that's not only where Young Link, but where Straw Hat strives. So he's in the lead right now, and he's forcing his advantage even
my
breaking
God.
the zoning. How big, I don't know how ballsy you have to be able to break that zoning consistently against Young Link when you are the one with a lead against him. But that was an absolute body bag. Whole match was a clip. I loved everything about what Monopoly Man did during
Young Link was in that bag. Like Ryu just tossed Young Link over his shoulder there. Like, that's what that was. Straw Hat all of a sudden has to respond, and respond big. Yes, please take us back there. So as we saw, yeah, he gets popped up by the Hadouken and is immediately met by the first hit of the Tatsumaki. And this is the last stock, as you see right here, as he draws back, sets it up with the Hadouken, and immediately again with the Tatsu. It's been beautifully done how he's been setting him up with his own zoning option. He brought his bare hands to a bomb fight and won. So now Straw Hat is going to need to display a little bit of his defensive movement. His DI is going to have to be on point here, and whatever the stage is, he's going to have to make sure he does not get made to look like a fool again, especially after that. As we go to Town and City, it's basically going to be FD for a little bit anyway, so you have those platforms, have fun with them while you can, Monopoly Man, and he's certainly taking Straw Hat to task right now. And if you're Straw Hat, the message has to be to keep calm, cool, and collected, because you can very easily let this game get away from you. But he does get the DI there, and he goes into the corner, and MonopolyMan right now showing absolutely no signs of fear, which is impressive in of itself.
I don't know what this guy, just did in between these games. I don't know what he took. I don't know if it was his meds. I don't know, is that, oh my god, is the classic where you confirm right there, gonna kill off the top. Strawhat taking him over to Town and City. One of the most polarizing stages in our current legal rule set, Stu, because it has the highest vertical ceiling and still among some of the lowest. I imagine that Strawhat elected to go to this stage to really make his zoning game that much more prominent because of the long width of the stage while living longer off of the top. And yet he still was the one who wound up dropping the first stock there. MonopolyMan just not giving a good damn about this counter pick on the part of Strawhat right now, as the damage slowly but surely and safely from a distance tacks on right now. Ryu definitely amply practicing his social distancing right now, but breaking it a little bit, getting a little too close. And off the top, he's actually not going to die that much longer. Strawhat's counter actually working a little bit against him there because Ryu is a much heavier character than he, but the Nair will kill off the side. Those blast zones are a lot smaller there. I imagine that Strawhat will have a much easier time being able to get those. Mayhaps we'll actually see an arrow into an up B confirm. We haven't seen a single one all set. More so, we've rather seen this Ryu play the sort of close-up breaking the zoning game while KK Slider performs this beautiful serenade for us all. It is Saturday night between 8 o'clock and midnight, which is when he comes out on the Town and City and Smashville level. So here he is going to be able to play a show for us all. And the Tatsumaki Senpukyaku not going to kill off the top just yet. It's one of the things that
Strawhat!
as polarizing as it is. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Alexa, play KK Blues. Dude. Oh my gosh. That is absolutely tragic. I am so sorry. And MonopolyMan, that is not the sort of opportunity that you want to be given him. That's not the sort of confidence that you want to bestow upon him, or really any sort of Ryu. Now he gets to wear away at that shield. He realizes that time is well on his side. Now more than ever, Strawhat is going to have to rely on perhaps the more passive, patient nature of Young Link, even though, yes, you do have the boxing options, but you need to let MonopolyMan try to bring the game to you and be ready, sword and shield at hand, to negotiate whatever Ryu's fist can possibly throw at you, I would feel like.
Oh, for sure, man.
That's not going to happen here.
Not the best DI, but it's not going to matter because of the high blast zones of Town and City. This is why Strawhat went here. The second Tatsumaki, beautiful tech away from Strawhat, would almost definitely spell his certain doom had he not done that option right there. But with spelling his doom, he is still down an entire stock and a beautifully spaced forward smash. And I gotta say, Stu, the most depressing thing about that entire game was that as soon as Strawhat self-destructed his second stock away, around that exact same time was when KK Slider immediately left the venue. He had enough. He didn't want to see anymore. He was just done. He was done watching his boy get cooked. He played KK Blues for him, but it didn't matter. Let's take a beautiful look at this final stock again. My man, Third Party, bringing out his inner Sonic the Hedgehog and dashing back in classic Street Fighter fashion to be able to land that forward smash off of the landing and take the stock. And he knew that there wasn't that much risk to even doing so. He was the one who was up a stock. He was the one who was like relatively high percent, but not high enough to the point where Young Link would have been able to kill him, especially on Town and City with those high vertical ceilings. My goodness,